So you want to start a meditation practice and now you're thinking about the space you're going to be meditating in. Well, great. I can't express how the environment that you're meditating in really impacts your overall meditation. So today we're going to be going over how to set up your meditation space so you could get the best experience for your practice. Because going to your meditation space, if it feels calming and relaxing, and already you could just feel the Zen vibe starting to flow as soon as you get in there, great. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of different items or different things you could use to make your space feel really warm, welcoming, and calm. So thanks for joining me today. My name is Rebecca. I'm a mindfulness meditation coach, and I teach people how to use meditation to improve their overall well-being. A lot of people are confused about what meditation is, how to actually practice so they can get results, and that's where I come in. I've taught over 1,000 one-to-one sessions, and I've been practicing meditation for almost 10 years now. So I really like to keep things effective, simple, and easy to understand. My channel is all about meditation, mindfulness, and every now and then we talk about a little manifestation magic. So if that sounds like something you like, please subscribe to my channel. All right, so we're going to be going through a lot of different things today so you could set up your meditation space at home to feel really good. The first thing I want to tell you is that it is important for your meditation space to be clean. Probably this is quite obvious, but we don't want it to be a cluttered space. We don't want random things that don't really belong in our meditation space or aren't really connected to the experience that we want to create in that space. It would be really meaningful if you could find one space to meditate in continuously within your home. I recommend sitting in the same seat every time that you practice meditation. Also, one thing I want to advise against is that I don't recommend sitting in the same seat that you work to practice meditation. So try to keep where you work separate from where you're meditating. Now, if it's in the same room, okay. But if you could create two separate seats or spaces for that, that's perfect. Because what's going to happen is in that space, we're building up this energy of calm, meditative energy. And every time you go there, your body is kind of going to drop into this meditative state knowing, okay, it's time to connect to the breathing, close your eyes, go inward, focus, and just let go and relax. So you really want to keep your workspace separate from your meditation space. All right, so those are a few of the beginning things I want to mention. Clean space, free from clutter. Do not sit in the same chair you're working in that you're going to be meditating in. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that are going to take you 10 steps ahead of the average person who's not setting up a meditation space. And when I start my meditation practice in the morning, there's a few things that I do before I even go into the meditation to give myself the best experience. And I like to come over to my meditation altar and I begin by lighting a candle. Now, I like to place my tea lights in a little Buddha candle holder, and I like to light a candle first thing before I start my practice and say a prayer or affirmation. And it could be something as simple as lighting the flame of knowledge to burn away all ignorance. It's really beautiful if you could bring your whole being into what you're doing with each step of your practice. So you're lighting a candle, be very mindful of that lighting a candle, and you're setting an intention for your entire meditative experience. So saying, hey, lighting this candle, I'm letting go of the bad juju, I'm welcoming the good juju. Light the flame of knowledge, burning away all ignorance. And if there's some kind of prayer or affirmation that you like to use, by all means, this is the time to do that. So I will light my little Buddha candle here. I have another candle here. I normally light 2 candles in the morning, and this is my rock salt candle. And these 2 candles lit early in the morning look really beautiful when I have the lights off in the apartment. So it just already creates this beautiful ambiance with this candle lit environment, and it feels really nice and lovely. So candles are a beautiful thing to bring into your meditation altar. The next thing I do to really create a warm and welcoming atmosphere is I light my white sage, and this is mixed with cedar wood, so it's a blend, but you could get all white sage. Now this one is bigger. This is a really big stick. I wish I would have got a couple smaller ones, but hey, okay, it's fine. It's dried leaves and just wood elements. And I walk around my apartment purifying the space. Some natural elements and woods or leaves are known for their purification effects. And these are used a lot in spiritual rituals to cleanse the space before the ritual begins, or it's just lit continuously throughout the ritual. So I like to light this, walk around my apartment and welcome. Again, we want to be mindful throughout this process. So I'm walking through my apartment with the stick into each room and saying, hey, I'm letting go of the bad juju and I'm welcoming new positive good energy into my life. So again, we want to be mindful of what we're doing, connect our thoughts energy and our feeling energy into what we're doing to be fully aligned, right? Because this is what meditation is. We want to get all of our energies aligned into the present moment, fully engaged in what we're doing. So, and sometimes when I'm walking around my apartment, I notice my attention travels outward. I'm already thinking about what I have to do for the day, but I just bring it back. So you could also use different incense sticks as well. This is California white sage. This is a more natural incense. Some of them have strong perfume scents, so I want to advise to go to the more natural ones or the ones that are not as strong, because I find the strong scents really, they give me a headache. So I just stick with the more natural ones or the softer scented ones. So you could either use the white sage or incense in the morning. There's also Palo Santo sticks that you could use. Again, this is connected to cleansing the space and purifying the environment. So I go throughout all the rooms, cleanse all the rooms, or purify the space before I sit down in my meditation practice. And of course, I want to recommend having a box, an incense box to hold your incense when they're burning. This one also has a little compartment here, so you could store your incense in here, and I just rest it inside when it's burning to keep my apartment safe. Another way to bring in a beautiful scent into your meditation space and really make your meditation altar beautiful, because of course this is a perfect item to put at your meditation altar. It's nice to look at, it's beautiful, and it also is practical, it serves a purpose. And you could also have a diffuser for your meditation space to create a really nice smell. If I don't use the incense or the white sage, I go to the diffuser and I'll just set this for 30 minutes as soon as I wake up, so it's already going and just creates a really nice scent in the air. And there's a few different essential oils I have here. I have orange. So different essential oils create a different effect. So let's say if I were to wake up kind of tired and feeling sluggish, I could use a citrus essential oil for a more stimulating, awakening effect. I also have here eucalyptus. So this is more of cleansing or purification. And also, of course, lavender. This is going to be more of a calming experience for your practice. And one drop in the diffuser goes a long way. You don't have to use a lot of drops. Just one drop is enough. So using different things to really create a nice smelling atmosphere is going to take it to the next level. It's probably almost going to feel like you're going to the spa. You have this like candles going. You have this nice scent in the background that smells purifying and cleansing, or maybe you have a stimulating one that's kind of waking you up, preparing you for the day, or maybe a more calming one. I advise against using the incense or the Palo Santo stick or the white sage together with the diffuser. I would do one or the other, because if there's too many smells, it could cause a headache or it could just be more problematic than beneficial. So stick to one. Also, I don't use scented candles. I just use non-scented candles. Sometimes these different smells just give me a headache. So I keep it really simple when it comes to the smell in the morning that I want to create for the environment. So I have my candles burning. I purified my space. And the next thing I like to do is use an essential oil, but for the wrist. This one is Lang Lang and Rose, and I just put it on the wrist like so. A little bit goes a long way, and then I put it in the back of the neck by the ears, and this smells so amazing. And I love the scent of this. Sometimes I could just even use this on its own during the day to give me a little like calm booster, and I love it. It just smells amazing. So if essential oils for the body are something that you like, I would recommend using it before you go into your meditation practice. And even if throughout the day you just want a little calm booster, I would say use essential oils for the body. And after I put my essential oil on, now this is optional, but it is really a very formal way to start your meditation practice, and it's a singing bowl. So you could use a singing bowl. This is the stand for the singing bowl. And this one is connected to the third eye. So different sounds connect to different energy centers within the body. I really liked this idea of connecting to intuition, awakening wisdom. So this one felt special for me. And I'm just going to tap it so you could hear the sound. This is a beautiful way to open and close your meditation practice. So you could just tap it 3 times at the beginning and then again at the end. So, and this is also like a beautiful piece to have at your meditation altar. I mean, look at it. This is from a Buddhist tradition. Probably you see this design in the Buddhist temples before. So it's really beautiful to have at your altar. So another thing that could sit at your meditation altar to, again, give you these calm vibes and good feeling when you come into your space is going to be some decorative pieces. Now, this is some art here, and it's Shiva and Shakti, and it's symbolic of universal consciousness and energy consciousness, and they're in union, so it's representative of one consciousness, energy and awareness in union for one consciousness. And it's really nice if you could place art or some different kind of items at your altar that have a deeper symbolic meaning, and they're representative of things you want to embody. So beautiful pieces of art really take your meditation space to the next level. Also, what I have at my meditation altar here is, it's sacred geometry. So, and you could look up different shapes to see which one resonates with you, but it just is beautiful to have at my meditation altar. I really love it. Also, what you could put in your space is pictures of loved ones. So this was my dog Benny. He passed away a couple years ago, and obviously I still think about him and love him so much. But if you have loved ones that are no longer with you, it's really nice to have them at your meditation altar. It just, at least when I see Benny, it gives me this feeling of he's still with me, he's supporting me, he's watching over me, and anything that gives you a good feeling of support, I would say to put that picture at your meditation altar. And it could be a picture of a loved one that is no longer here, of loved ones that are still here, but maybe they're in a different country, far away from them, or even if, they are still very present in your life and involved in a very regular way. If they are meaningful to you, inspiring to you, I would definitely recommend putting that at your meditation altar. Other pictures that you could put at your altar also include different saints, gurus, teachers, or guides. This is Ramana Maharshi, an Indian teacher of Jnana Yoga, and he created the method of self-inquiry, who am I? If you practice this form of meditation, it is the practice of peeling back all the layers of what you are not to get to the heart of who you really are. So it's a beautiful practice. He was a meditator, obviously, and it's just, it feels really nice to have pictures of different teachers or saints at your meditation space. And if you connect with Jesus or any other saints, like, please put them at your meditation altar if they give you a feeling of support and connection, or just feel really good for you to see. I highly recommend that. I actually have a picture of different teachers in all of my rooms, so it just makes me feel really good seeing these different teachers in my spaces, whether they're monks or gurus or saints or whatever guide feels good for you. Use that. The one place I don't recommend putting those kind of sacred or spiritual pictures is in the bathroom. That would be the one room I recommend not to put any spiritual or holy objects in. So we're going to move on to the next item. This is white Tara. It comes from a Buddhist tradition, and she's a deity of compassion. So I really love compassion. It's a big part of what I teach in my meditation program when I work one-to-one with clients. And really just, it's a reminder to practice compassion and to be compassionate. Self-compassion as well as compassion for others. So if there's any images of deities, saints, gurus, teachers that feel good for you, definitely keep it at your meditation space. All right, so another thing that you could keep at your meditation space is going to be dried flowers or fresh flowers. And this is dried lavender. So it has a very, very light scent. For me, I like softer scents. I don't like anything too strong because I tend to be sensitive and get headaches. But this is just a perfect amount. Again, it just gives me this really nice feeling, and it has a gentle scent. And a lot of the Buddhist tradition, they use, when I lived in a Buddhist center for the total of 6 months, and it was very common for gifts to be presented at the altar as an offering to the divine, to different deities, teachers that were speaking. They would bring flowers and place them at the altar. So having fresh flowers at your altar is a beautiful thing. I like dried lavender, so even dried different plants or flowers is okay too. Okay, so those were a few of the things that we could keep at our meditation altar. The next few things we're going to explore are items more I like to keep in a meditation cabinet, so not out in the open but tucked away, just to prevent them from getting dirty with dust. So I have a pouch here that I keep in my meditation cabinet, and these are for special items. I got this in my yoga teacher training program that I did in Bali in 2017. And what I have in here are the malas, or the Rudraksha beads I received from the program. And Rudraksha beads are associated with positive energy and good energy. So I wore Rudraksha beads like every time I meditated in the beginning. It just felt really good for me. I felt really supported and energized by wearing these. It just felt really special. So you could definitely wear malas if that feels good for you. And some of them have sacred stones and precious stones or crystals on them. This one has amethyst. So again, it's bringing in the good positive vibes. And these mala necklaces normally have 108 beads, which is a sacred number. And it's good to keep malas stored away in a pouch. And also, I wouldn't recommend wearing your malas everywhere unless you have like an everyday mala necklace. I would keep them more for your spiritual practices or meditation practice. And I wouldn't wear the malas when you go to the bathroom. I would take them off before and put them in your pouch, okay? Wear them for meditation or certain special rituals. Also, too, what I have in the pouch are gemstones and crystals. So with your meditation practice, you could use different crystals that feel good for you. I used to meditate a lot with rose quartz. If you could see here, this connects to the heart center, and also crystal quartz, if you could see it here. This connects to intuition, mental clarity, insight, inner wisdom. There's different stones and crystals that you could use that again connect to certain effects When you check in with yourself, you could see what feels most good for you. If you want to connect to the heart center, use rose quartz. Clarity, use quartz itself. And it's just anything we could use to help us get focused and concentrated in our meditation practice and amp up the good vibes, we'll use it. And I recommend keeping your crystals in a pouch, keeping them protected. And I keep my malas in here, and I keep them in my meditation cabinet under my meditation altar. So the next thing I want to talk to you about, you light your candle, you light your incense, you put on your essential oils, you get your crystals out, you get your malas on, you have your different items at your meditation altar that you could look at, pictures of your teachers or loved ones. So you see how it's really setting up this space of like a nurturing, supported, protected. Like it's just so beautiful when you really set up your meditation space to have all these different things that really feel good for you. So that's what we want to do. It's like a little retreat when you go into your meditation, and just imagine going into your meditation space and having all of these things versus sitting and meditating at your work desk. Like this is not it. You have all your work stuff. This is why I'm telling you all these different things you could use to make your space feel really special. Because if you feel any resistance to sitting in meditation, which is normal, having all these beautiful items and creating this experience for your practice is just going to make you want to meditate and fall in love with it. So once we have all of these little things set, then we're going to sit down in our meditation seat. And I keep this item in my meditation cabinet as well, and it's a meditation cushion, and it is really adjustable. It really conforms to my body when I sit down. It's also made of natural materials. Now you don't need a meditation cushion. You could also use a pillow if that feels good for you. I like having a special meditation cushion for my practice. It feels really good and makes it feel extra special. I sit on the floor when I meditate, and I sit on my cushion. But if you don't have the openness in the hips, or if your legs fall asleep during your practice sitting cross-legged, you don't have to sit on the ground. You could sit in a chair, and that's absolutely okay. If you are sitting in a chair, one thing that really helps is having support for your back. So I want to recommend a small pillow or even a bigger one for the mid-back. And that's going to support you when you sit in your practice, because you really want to keep a straight spine. You don't want to be slouching over. You really want to build length in the spine, because that'll help you keep the breath flowing more easily. It'll keep you more alert in your practice. We want to find the right balance between relaxing and feeling aware and awake. So keeping a straight spine will help you do that. If you can't sit cross-legged, sit in a chair, put a cushion at the center back, and that will help you a lot. If you're sitting on the meditation cushion and you need support for your back, I would suggest sitting against the wall if you could. There are some more fancy meditation seats now that are resting on the floor but also have back support. So that's really cool if you could find one of those for you to sit in. But a chair is absolutely okay, and you want to make sure your body feels good and feels supported in your practice, because if you're uncomfortable, you won't be able to access those deeper stages of meditation where you just kind of sink down into this relaxed state. You have to make sure your body feels comfortable. So another way to make sure that your body feels comfortable is by using a blanket to cover yourself. I like to cover myself when I meditate because I get cooler once I start. Maybe like 10 minutes into my practice, I start to feel cold. So normally I always wrap a blanket around me before I begin, or I put it on my legs. Sometimes I have a sweater with me too. I have another meditation blanket here, but this one is more decorative for me. I just keep in my meditation space. And this one is special for me because I got it at a Buddhist temple in Dharmashala. It's in the north of India where the Dalai Lama is. And I went to see him do a talk on compassion. So this one feels really special for me. Sometimes I use it, but more I just keep it at my meditation space because it just feels good having it there. And again, if something feels good for you, bring it into your meditation space. This is about creating a space that feels calming, inviting, where you're just like, yes, I want to go to my meditation space. And another thing that you could bring into your meditation space, so you sit down, you got your blanket on, you got your pillow for support, if that feels good. I also have a bunch of affirmations here. I did a manifestation and meditation program last year, and it was so beautiful. We worked with affirmations as a manifestation tool. And sometimes I just look at these and see which one feels best for me. I water my wilderness with faith, and suddenly it blossoms as the rose. I mean, it's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. You could use affirmations or different prayers that feel good for you in your practice. You could even work with an intention in your meditation practice. In my program, I always work with intention and gratitude when we're closing out the practice. And this is beautiful to bring in. You could bring it in at the beginning of your practice or at the end when you're closing. This is from Florence Scovel Shinn, by the way. She was a spiritual teacher from the early 1900s, and she was from Jersey. That's where I'm from in the United States. And she was also living in New York City at one point, like myself. So when I came across her work, I fell in love with it, and I created a whole manifestation program out of the materials I found from her. I thought it was so beautiful. So affirmations or prayers, you could keep them at your altar. I like to keep this one in my meditation cabinet. And another thing that you could have in your meditation space are spiritual quotes and beautiful quotes. This one I received from my meditation program, spiritual quotes to lead your way home. So again, they're just beautiful words. Few things under heaven bring more benefit than the lessons learned from silence and the actions taken without striving. These things are just beautiful reminders of what it is that we want to achieve and be present with. So definitely keep different spiritual books, materials, affirmations, prayers at your meditation altar. One of the last things I want to talk about is having a meditation journal. When I first started meditating, I had so many insights and realizations, and I was doing a lot of journaling. So having a journal in your space for if any ideas come to you, or maybe you have a deep insight and realization about something from before, and also too, in our meditation practice, we're not going in there to figure out stuff or like get to the answer of something, although that was very much my focus and energy when I first started meditating, because I was very confused in life, and I needed clarity and I needed guidance, and those things come, but on their timeline. So we just have to make this space to sit and listen and connect to that intuition and kind of say, hey, I'm here. You want to tell me something? So having a meditation journal is a beautiful way to just write about your meditation experiences and be mindful of the different things you want to cultivate in life. It's really beautiful. So I would recommend a meditation journal. And it looks like that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We talked about different things that are really going to awaken the senses. We're getting the sense of smell involved, the sense of sight. What are we placing at our altar that we'll look at when we sit to meditate? Also, the feeling of the space. Do we have our cushions there, our blankets, pillows? So these are some of the things that you could use to set your meditation space up for those Zen, calming vibes. I highly recommend you take a few things from this video that felt really good for you and experiment. Let me know what you create. Maybe there's some things here I didn't mention and that you're already using. I would love to know more about it, so you could write it in the comments. And that's it for today. If you found this video useful, please give it a like. Please send me a little message in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I also offer one-to-one meditation coaching, so if that's something you want to explore, you could check out the link in bio. And that's it for today. Stay present, keep your meditation space clean and feeling good, and I promise you it's going to change the way that you experience your whole meditation practice. All right, take care, and I will see you next time.